All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loser Bracket 1.2, MHG versus Salsa, Game 3. The loser of this battle is out of the tournament. The winner of this battle goes on to fight KSC. Going to be interesting. Let's take a look. Salsa bringing Yamato and Vermont. Remember, St. Vincent was banned. Double Nevsky, Des Moines, and then Daring, Harugumo, Yu Yang, and Kleber for destroyers. Raptor, what's MHG bringing?
MHG opting for a 3-destroyer strat, going for Vermont and Ohio. Full Murica for their battleship lineup here, Zath. Cruisers, Salem, Moskva, Nevsky, and Petro. All the 12-kilometer radar, except for, well, we're missing a Stalingrad, but a whole bunch of it anyway. And then their 3 destroyers, Shima, Marceau, and Daring. So a whole lot of just variety in destroyers in this event so far today, and I'm really enjoying that. You remember there were times in this event where like everybody took the same destroyers, same 2 to 3 destroyers, but times have changed, and I'm here for all of it, Zath. I'm loving it.
I was gonna say, you mean clan battles?
No, I'm thinking all the way back. King of the C7, King of the C8, right there. There were fewer options. But nowadays, there's such a plethora of Tier 10 destroyers, so many of them to fit so many different roles, and it's fun to see how each team approaches that portion of their lineup to me.
That's right. That's right. Well, it looks like both teams are opting not to send that many assets towards the Western caps. One Nevsky each, heading towards their respective home caps. Vermont is playing safety north of C cap.
I'm not surprised to see them not really committing much to that flank, Zath, although we have seen some teams previously on this map send, a quick French destroyer over there, a Marceau, a Kleber, to go pick up that quote-unquote home cap, and then rotate that ship elsewhere. Both teams have those ships available in their lineup, but choosing not to utilize them in that fashion.
One of the things that I was thinking about when I was doing the research for the intro video voiceover on this is, when you send people that far out west, you really take them out of the battle.
Yes.
And both teams really only want to send somebody out that they can afford to lose early. And really, that's going to be a Nevsky. And that makes sense, right? That's like the backline cruiser anyway. So who cares if his firepower isn't available at any given moment?
Right. One of the other strategies that we've seen teams take on this map, obviously not here, but to your point about fast ships and a cruiser, we've seen teams push a Marseille out to this flank, which, of course, I'm sure would have made Bogsy very happy had he seen that in this particular game. But sadly, no Marseille in either lineup. Both of these teams clearly, I would say firmly on Team Napoli because, well, there's no Napoli in these lineups either.
This almost feels like a kind of like a more old-fashioned kind of setup, right? With both ship,
It does a little bit to me, but at the same time, I still feel like teams are feeling their way through this cap configuration of the map, right? Because, so there's a couple of things at play here that make Sea of Fortune play radically different from any other version of this map we've ever played in the event. The first is, because it's a 4-cap map, both teams start at 200 points instead of 300 points. So you have farther to go from the moment that the moment of the game beginning.
Sure.
And then on top of that, the caps used to be literally so close together, like shoved on top of each other almost. You could move from the A cap to the B cap to the C cap right through the middle of the board in a matter of seconds. You can't do that anymore. And you and I know cast at least one game in the preceding rounds leading up to this where that played a huge impact because teams had to go and try to pick up those off caps and then get back into the game, and it's not as easy as you would think.
Yep. Now, Sopa Demon, Yu Yang there, is looking quite low.
Oh, yeah.
Got forced back a bit. He popped his radar. There was a lot of fire going back and forth as we were gabbing about, but nobody has died from it.
No.
Who won in that engagement, would you say?
To me, MHG. MHG comes off significantly better. That Yang cannot... They had put a bunch of damage into Cobra, right? SULSA did. But MHG, that Daring can recoup some of that health, right? He's 1 heal in. He's got 2 more available. Whereas, obviously, the Yu Yang now cannot recoup any of that health.
Right.
Cobra's daring has his Hydra up. All of these torpedoes spotted on the way in now. He's got a nice gap. He doesn't have to worry about the deep waters, of course. Whole bunch of action here at B, but I think in the end, MHG is going to be able to pick up this cap.
I agree.
I said B. It's not B anymore. It's C. My bad.
SULSA was forced off.
Yep.
And but no, now both teams got their home caps. But SULSA's Nevsky is coming back north of C cap. MHG's Nevsky is playing games up the islands.
Yeah, I have to wonder about Cakeman's position here now over on the 3 line, right? They've seen all the opposing ships. They know more or less where they expect them to be. So I have to wonder, you know, is this position necessary?
Well, you got to think the other team might be, you know, pushing their ship down that line too, right?
It's possible. I mean, you're right. They don't know who capped A. They have no idea. They just know it was capped and that there might still be a ship lurking over there. But I have to imagine eventually they're going to get tired of wondering and start getting a little aggressive to try and find out.
Absolutely. And then they get a free cap because SULSA has pretty much gone right out of A. Cobra, by the way, down significantly from the last time we saw him. He got radared by Soviet's Yu Yang, paid the price.
He did indeed. Some good focus fire going on Cobra. He'll be on to his last heal in another 35 seconds or so. Also, while that's going on, Panda's daring able to pick up D over here. And so that's allowing SULSA to start to slowly edge out to a lead here 7 minutes into this game.
That's right. Nuke 2 in the Salem is under some pretty heavy focus fire from, it looks like Billy Ripu's Harugumo. Got whacked earlier, too. I think that was a Vermont salvo that came in.
Very possible. Both teams taking a Vermont on this map. A ship that we've seen sporadically over the course of the event. Sometimes highly effective, sometimes not. Largely depending on the board position it chooses to take and how the enemy team reacts to that position.
That's right. Peregrine's Yamato just took a chunk out of Nuke as well.
Yeah, Nuke's honestly in trouble over here. Like he's lit, he's spotted. The Harugumo is farming him. The Yamato shells are coming in. Those are all going to miss.
Cobra has gone back into the C cap now.
Oh, big hit on Imperatrice's Des Moines from the Ohio, I think. And it does look like Cobra's going to finally pick up C here. The Yang radar is coming available, but it's not going to be in time to stop the cap.
Nope. They are able to get the radar up. They can see Cobra now.
Yep. They're going to be able
shooting at him. There it is.
Now, Cobra is out of heals now, so any damage they can put into him has a significantly bigger impact than the previous couple of engagements they were able to spot him.
Meanwhile, Memes is pushing it up towards the A cap in the Marceau. Smart play there.
I like this. I was wondering if they were going to pull him off the C cap, and they did finally. I think at last figured out there's nobody here, so they're at least going to go pick up this cap and put some pressure on SULSA here, and I like this play a lot, Zaf.
Billy Repu looks like he took a torpedo in the Harugumo over on the 10 line. Must have been a Shima torp headed for the Yamato. Yep, he did. And he's at 739 hit points, and he's on radar.
Ripu is lit back there, and he's gone. That's a huge first kill for MHG.
It is huge, yeah.
It does two
things. Is that radar
things.
that detected him?
I think, honestly, Zath, if you look at his position, he was out of the smoke. I think Zulu Shimakaze was spotting him. Yes, sir. I think that's
barely.
Just barely, but it was enough. And for the moment, that alleviates the pressure on Nuke because he's now been through 2 of his fancy Salem heals.
Not much left for him. Peregrine, though, pushing up in the Yamato. He's ready for that kill shot.
He's looking for it if he can spot the Salem. Imperatrice's radar and Hydro are both down. The Hydro will be back in 35. That'll be enough to spot Nuke. As Memes picks up the A cap. Nice heads-up play here from MHG, realizing that that cap was completely unguarded.
That's right. And now Cakeman coming under some fire there as he gets detected.
Well, he was opening fire. If he'd stop shooting, they wouldn't be able to see him.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I thought one of them saw him on the channel.
I don't think so. The Kleber might pick him up. I'm not sure.
Zulu with a nice smoke on Nuke, by the way, trying to get him undetected, but he is still.
He's
In fact, I
radared.
think now he's proxy spotted, maybe? No.
No, it's not Hydro. It's not radar. He is lit. I'm not even sure
Yeti.
how he's lit.
Yeti's Nevsky
The
is
Nevsky
radaring.
radar's got him. I see it now all the way in the back. And they're going to have a small gap. And then Imperatrice now has him on Hydro.
Yep. Here comes the Yamato shells. And the Vermont shells.
And the Vermont shells. They really, really want Nuke dead. They finally get him. As
Yeah.
Pre-Grind also takes some Shimakaze torpedoes back over here. It's not enough to change the lead, though, because MHG is ticking up 3 caps.
Yep. Platanito's Kleber's about to go down up to the north.
Ooh, and he is lit, isn't he? Look at that.
Yes, he's lit.
1,200 HP and falling. Continuing to fire in a gunfight with a Nevsky?
Yeah, I'm confused about that, but
That feels like a questionable decision, but he manages to sneak away.
unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw that coming in.
Yeah, the Vermont moves up and tells Cake Man, "You are not welcome here, sir.
Leave my friend alone.
Leave my friend alone." Cake Man limps away on 6,800 HP.
Some of that will buff out.
Some of it'll buff out, but it's going to be a minute. His next heal is only a few seconds away.
Yep. Cobra now getting in there, smoking, shooting, and torpedoing.
I find this interesting, Zath. Now that they own C, right? MHG has pulled both of these destroyers off the cap, right? The Marceau they pulled off first as the blind fire is hitting Cobra in that smoke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the comment I was making earlier is because generally speaking, if you want to torpedo somebody, you don't tell them you're going to torpedo them by popping smoke and shooting them.
You generally don't do this.
More importantly, though, you also don't open fire and torpedo and then smoke
And
after
then
you
smoke.
stopped.
That's exactly right.
We saw that in an earlier game today. Had some disastrous results.
Speaking of potential disasters, now check out Tangerine's position in the Petro. Now, Imperatrice,
he's fine.
He is for now, but Imperatrice has really good shots on him if he'll turn his guns. I'm a little surprised to see him move up and take this position. And in fact, Imperatrice is actually no, he's still looking south. I'm shocked no one is moving. No one is taking this south.
Well, Zulu is detected, so he's looking at Zulu right now.
Ah, yes, he is.
So look, a diversion.
7 minutes to play. MHG on a 150-point lead, continuing to tick up 2 additional caps. We didn't talk about it, but the cap tick rate on this map is different as well because there's 4 caps instead of 3. The caps tick a little slower, but the individual ticks are worth more.
Aha. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever noticed this. Tangerines seem to do it, but when you get detected, especially by radar, sometimes people just stop.
Yes.
You know, like their opponents are T-Rexes everywhere.
Now Tangerines has moved up. He's got really good broadside shots on 7.6's Vermont with his AP. And of course, if you can land those right, the Vermont will take full pins from most of that, I would think. And that's exactly what's happening. He's putting about 8 to 10K a salvo into him right there.
Yep, 7.6 is going to respond with his guns.
Surprised his guns were even looking in that direction. But nothing doing.
Nope.
Now, which Nevsky did we lose?
That should be the one that's on the 8 line.
Here he was. Yep, the one on the 8 line. There he
North.
was. All right, so now MHG up a ship and several caps. 300-point lead. 6 minutes to play.
At this point, it looks like MHG's going to win. But then, of course, we've got Panda taking down the Daring right there, Cobra.
Yep. Cobra pushing a little too far and not guarding what little bit health he had left a little jealously and losing his ship there.
Panda detected now, and 7.6 is quite low.
So, yeah, 7.6, I think, sat a little too long with the Petro on his broadside and paid the price for his choices.
Oh, another big hit on Cakeman.
Indeed, Cakeman.
Poor guy, he getting slapped around.
He had healed back and now getting low again. 7.6's last heal is about to come up. Will he make it to that heal? He will barely, I think.
DCP is active.
Barely.
It is their heal.
He gets down to 749 hit points before he gets that last heal off.
And he's no longer detected.
He has managed to move out of detection radius.
But he decides to shoot here. Let's follow these salvos in. They will have an in-flight meal on their way to their targets.
That's a long way. What is that, a 24-kilometer, 23 and change, I think? It's a long shot.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of hang time.
Yep, he didn't lead him quite right. Cake Man, all of them miss.
Soapit and the Yu Yang detected low. Might take a torpedo here. I think he will. Nope. Just barely dodges.
He is still lit there at about 1,300 HP. Some more shells coming in. They get him.
Oof.
Zeckles' Vermont speaks again, bags another kill.
1 minute to go for MHG to win if nothing else happens.
60 seconds to an MHG win here in Game 3. That would allow them to move on to take on defending champions KSC, who are now in the losers bracket, Zath.
Yeah. Panda gets onto the ACAP, stops the point gain, gets detected, lost a huge chunk of his health from the Ohio, and now he's fighting against Memes.
He has the ability to win this fight against Memes. Let's see if he leads the shells right. He's also got some help with some friends. Although Memes' blind fire is doing brilliant work.
That's French radar for you. Yep. You don't need to see the person. You just shoot it. And
if you vomit enough shells, and sooner or later you'll hit something, right?
Right.
I think
that was the same thing that Korba did earlier. He's shooting, he stops, and then he smokes while shooting, while detected. So,
they do bag Memes. That's going to allow them to reclaim A, but there's still 90 seconds from a loss here. They let MHG own the ACAP and play around in their backfield so long. They now have no chance to get onto B. They simply don't have time, and I think there's too much MHG firepower defending C. I think this is over.
Well, Peregrine the Amato is getting whacked by, of all things, the Moskva at long range. He's going to go down here.
He's going to burn out.
Burning.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is. Seconds away.
And that'll do it.
Yep, that's going to do it. MHG is going to claim Game 3 here, and they have the joy, Zath, the unique honor of moving up to play KSC here in the next round.
That's right. Just a few more seconds, and that Ohio might have been able to put a dent in the Des Moines coming around the corner.
Very possibly. You know what I really like about that game, Zath, and we have not seen a lot of on Sea of Fortune, right, is a team go pick up that quote-unquote home cap, right, in this new map configuration, and then completely abandon it, and then the opposing team realize what's happening and make them pay for it. And that's exactly what MHG did in that game.
Just look at this couch. I'm taking this couch.
That's right. This is mine now. You left it here. Goodness. It's mine now.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's throw it back to the studio. We'll see what Boggsy and Gaishu have to say about this match. Guys, we'll see you again in just a few minutes.